Hello everyone. In this video, I'm gonna try to talk about how you can create your free website or a blog site using WordPress.com. And besides WordPress, there are some other websites too to create your free website or blog, like Weebly.com. They also have a video that you can watch. Google has a thing when you go to google.ca or .com and you click on more, and there's a thing called Blogger. Maybe I'll do a video for that a little bit later. So Blogger is also a way to create your own blog or your website. And there is a thing called sites.google.com. So just type sites.google.com and you'll come to this. I haven't really looked into it, what the difference between the Blogger and the sites that I see. It's not a big difference. It's almost pretty much the same. And there is another one called wix.com. They also have some free options, and then there are some paid options, and they have like flashy style websites. But I do personally like WordPress, and you'll see why, because it's easy to edit and add things. And I'm hoping in the next 20 to 30 minutes I'll be able to give you all the tools that you'll be able to use to go ahead and create your own blog on your own. So when you come to WordPress.com, you can go to Get Started, and this is where you get to choose what your website will be. So for example, I've created a test site for my teaching, so it's amirp1.wordpress.com. Okay, so if anything on the internet, when you type cnn.com or you typed google.com, that's called a domain. So wordpress.com is a domain. Now what they do is when you're trying to create it, say I wanted a something with my name, p and 10, amirp10.wordpress.com. They are trying to check, they put a check mark there, that means it's available. Now this part is free. This is called a subdomain, and a lot of the free websites, that's what they do. They give you for free subdomain. But what if I wanted to get amir.com? If it is available, I can check it and I can choose from here amir.com, and they say it's going to cost me $18 a year, and they say it's already taken. So you can try to find what you can is available, because if somebody else owns it, you cannot get it. I can try to get amir.me, which is $25 a year. Somebody else has taken it. So you can try to find the one that is right for you. Now, you can also buy a domain from a registrar, what they are known as, from your own country. You can look around, and there are some other independent companies where you can just buy the domain, and then you can tell WordPress that I already have a domain. You see up here it says, do you own this domain? If you already have bought it, you can map it. So you can then try to use WordPress along with that, and WordPress will do that for you. And this domain, you have to buy it every year. A lot of the other services are free. So you just go ahead and fill up all the information, and you'll be able to create your free blog. They have a paid service one where you get some more stuff, but I feel for what you may need initially, you really don't need to spend that money. So just go with the free one. So what I'm going to do is, this is my website. I'm going to keep it open there, and I'm going to go to my backend. What do I mean by backend? Backend is where you're going to make the changes. So all you have to do is type your website address or your domain, subdomain, which is in my case amirp1.wordpress.com/wp-admin. Now WordPress will send you a lot of emails, some emails letting you know about the tips and things like that. I'm hoping that in 20-30 minutes I'll give you all the important bits that you need to know. So all I have to do is type that, and I hit enter. Now I come to the place where I can enter the backend, which is also known as the dashboard, where you go to make changes. So you can put your email address or your username and the password. Now I am using Firefox, and this version, I'll just check it right now, help about, is version 16, so which is the latest version. Now the reason why I'm telling that, because sometimes some features may not look exactly the same in Internet Explorer. Lot of the things will be same, but sometimes I find that a few buttons may look a little different. So this is the dashboard. This is where you come to start making changes. So usually the main idea with WordPress is people like to have a blog, so you can start talking about your hobby or something even business related. So you can start creating a website if you had some business ideas, you wanted to sell your services, but you didn't want to like tell people everything when you meet them. So you can create a business card with your website address on it, and you can tell people, and they can come to it and read more about your services. So that's why the website is really good for that reason. So let's start with a post. Post means all your blogs. Now blog means that something which is very dynamic. Blogs are things which are changing. You are putting a new information out once a week, once a day, a couple of times a week, or whatever it is. But it's usually more dynamic. So I'm just going to go to post. And I already have a few posts here, so I can go back and edit it, delete any that I like. I'll just add a new. So you see the add new button? It's very intuitive. I really like it the way it works. I can click on add new, and then I can just type a title and say I wanted to say third test blog. Come here and I can start typing. And as you are typing, you can see all these buttons, and what you might find that initially, if I press this button that says show and hide kitchen sink, it is hiding, and I press it, it comes back. So I can highlight things, make it bold, italic, can put bullets. So if you know Microsoft Word, this is pretty much exactly the same things. I can put it in the center. I can make it heading 1 or heading 2 to give it a different size and emphasis and underline and font colors. So all of these options are available right here. You can even edit the blog URL, when people have to type something, so you can change that. In this case, you don't need to do that. So once you write whatever you want to do, all you have to do is hit publish. Now while I'm at it, if I wanted, I could even insert a picture. So if you look, if I'm just going to point up here, and there's a picture called add media. So if I just hit upload, it's asking me select a file. So whatever file I have in my computer, I can upload it. If I had already uploaded it, it will be in my media library. And there was this one picture that I had uploaded earlier. So I'll just do it from computer right now. I click select file, and I have some pictures here. So you go to where the pictures are, and I'm just going to double click on the penguins. It's going to start to upload, and you'll see it happening here on the bottom. Depending on the size of the picture, it might take a little longer. So let's see. It's almost done. So here it is. I can change the title if I want it to be something, the captions and the description. Now this is like a link. I can choose to have none, or if I wanted, say I wanted when people click on that picture, it takes you to them certain website, you can just copy and paste there. So I could just have like just put google.ca for example. So it will be a linkable picture. Then I can choose what size do I want it, medium, large, and all I have to do is say insert into post. And that image is posted. I hit publish. Just going to close all these other tabs. I'm going to come to my website here, and I'm going to hit refresh. And I'm just going to scroll down and see. So this is my third blog that I just added right now. And here are my previous blogs. So it's right away it shows up. So I just have to hit refresh for that. Just going to close this window here. For some reason I came out, so I'll just go back to my dashboard. I go back to post, and I can go back and edit my blog. I can highlight things, make it bold. I can click on the image, delete it, or even go back and say I want to edit the image. So I can edit the image, change the wordings, make it small, 80%, change the length, whatever I want to do, center, right, hit update, and hit update, and my post is done. Now if you look on the post, there is this categories. Let's see if they show up here. Right there, uncategorized. So when you start doing a lot of blogs, it's nice if you can put categories so that you can categorize your blog in proper way. So say I was writing a blog about technology, so I could go to categories, and I can start creating categories and say Windows, and I click add new category. I can create a category called Apple. Just click add new. Say I wanted a category called iPhone, and I can make it part of parent window Apple. So iPhone will be part of Apple. Add new. So you see right there, and I can go back and edit, remove. So that way my post will be categorized that people will be able to find it. Now I can go back to all my posts, and say I go to my first one, and then I can say, you know what, make it part of Windows, and I can hit update, and it's updated. Go back to all post. I can go to my third test blog, and I'll say make it part of Apple and iPhone, remove the uncategorized, and I hit update. Go back to all post and my second blog, and I can say, you know what, just make it part of Apple, hit update. And that's it. They just keep on getting updated, and I can go and edit it or trash it. So this is all about post. Add new, keep on adding them. Now if this website, along with your post, along with your blogs, you wanted to have your services page, you wanted to have a contact page. Now for that you have to go to pages. So that's the difference. Pages are usually static. That means they don't change much. Blogs are things that they change, so they call them posts. So I go to pages, and I don't need this page, so I'm just going to delete it right now. So I just have a page called About, which I think is created by default, so you can go back and edit it if you want it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pages. So I'll go to add new, and I'll create a home page, which is, say for example, by default your blog shows up on your home page, yet your first page is home. So I'm going to show you how you can change that so that your home page is a different page, because this is like your website. You don't want your blog to come first, you want your idea to come first, your services or whatever it is that you want to present. So this is my home page, and I can copy and paste and things like that, and whatever I want to do. Now while I'm here, I'm going to show you one more tip. There is this option here called screen options in the right hand corner. I click it, and you make sure that, in my case, I've already checkmarked the discussion thing. So make sure you put a check mark in the discussion, and I'm just going to close the screen option, and I scroll down, and you see this discussion section here. What it means is people can leave comments on all the pages, and I'm like, you know what, no comments here. And I'll show you the likes button a little later, like Facebook like sharing button, so people can share your web page with their friends on Twitter or things like that. And I can hit publish, so the home page is published. I'll click add new, and say I want a services page, and this is my main service page. I can add pictures or whatever. Again, those ideas are exactly the same, and I can hit publish. Now say within services you had 3 to 4 different services, and you wanted them to have a separate page. So I can click add new, and I can say, or whatever the services are, I'll just make a better name, service 1, add your things. Now if I could just go to the parent option here in the page attributes and say, you know what, this should be services is the father, this is the child page, And they have this option called templates. Now, depending on the themes, which I'm going to come to in a few minutes, you can choose different templates. So say I wanted a full width. I'll just go to my test blog, and you see on the side they have this thing. This is called the sidebar. If you don't want it, then you can just say full width. Now that will depend on the theme that you are using, and I'll come to that in a few minutes. And I'll say remove the comments, and I'll hit publish. Okay, I'll click add new, and I'll say services 2, service 2 page, and I'll leave this at default just to show you what it will do. I'll remove the comments, and I hit publish. I'll add a new page, and this time I'll add a contact page. Contact us, and I'll edit this, and I'll say, you know what, just make it /contact. That's fine. So you can edit the URL so that it's shorter, not longer. And up here I want to add a contact form, and there's a button here which will add a custom form. I click it, and by default it will have a name which is required, email is required, website is not required, comment is required, and you can edit it, move it up and down. You can add more fields if you wanted a field for telephone number. And what kind of a field type is this? We'll say text, because we want them to write their telephone number, which could be words or alphabet. And is it required? I'll say no, that's okay. And I can drag it to there. And all I do is click add this to my post, and it's added. Don't worry about what it says there. It will look better once we go to it. And I hit publish. So now I have all my pages which I can go to, delete, edit, whatever you feel like doing. Now before I go ahead, I want to go to my menu, because on my home page I want to put up menus the way I want it to be. So I'm going to go to my pages. I go to appearance and menu, and I'm just going to delete this menu so I can show you how to create it. So I click this plus sign here. I don't even need to because it's the first one, and I'm just going to give it a name. You can call it whatever. I like to call it default. Create menu. And I'm going to say home, about, services. I made a mistake here, I'll fix it. Services 2, contact us, and service 1. Add it to the menu. And they all are added. Now I want my home up here, so I'm going to just drag it. Next, maybe I'll put the about here. I'll put the services after home. Services 1. And I'm just going to indent it. And I'm going to indent it a little because this is going to be under services. And I'm going to move this guy and indent it here too. And you could always go back and change the label by clicking on the arrow here to call it whatever. You can even remove it. So that's up to you. So this is what it looks like, and I can again move it around however I want it. I hit save. If I had a custom link, like say there was a link that I wanted them to take them by clicking on a link, they'll go to some other thing. So say I'll just do a test. So this is like an external link going outside. I can click add to menu, and there it is. Save it. And I'm going to say the primary navigation should be default, and I hit save. I come to my blog, and I'm going to hit refresh. And you see it shows up. There it is. Services, service 1, service 2, because I had it indented. And Google, we'll take it to google.com. The only problem is my blog still shows up on my home page. So how do you fix that? I'm going to come back to my dashboard. I'm going to click on settings. And when you come to settings in the general, this is where you can change the title of your site. So whatever the title is, Amir's Computer Services, tagline, Toronto-based computer support person, or whatever it is. You can even upload a picture of yours or whatever it is. You can set your time zones. Now, when I come to this reading section in the settings, this is where I can say that static page, the front page display. What should be my first page? Click here, choose home. What should be my blog page? Now, a mistake that I've done is I haven't created a blog page, so I'm just going to for now choose services 2, and I'm going to hit save. Go back to my pages and add a new page for my blog entries, and I'm going to hit publish. And I go back to settings and reading, and I'm going to change the services to blog and hit save. So it's highly customizable. You can always go back. Now I have to go back to my appearance and menu so that I can add my blog to my menu, and I have to choose blog, add, and then I can move it. Say I want the blogs up here, and I hit save. So let's go back to my live website. I hit refresh, and there it is. This is my home page. Shows up first. There is the share button to share it with people on Facebook and Twitter, and the like button. There is my services, about, there is my blog. So all the blog entries now are in the blog category, and the contact us has my contact form. So pretty easy in that sense, and that wording can be changed from settings. The next thing I want to show you is how you can change themes. I can go to the appearance and themes, and there are lots of interesting themes available for free. There are some where you have to pay, like this one. Now some of them will require you to learn a little bit as to how it works. Like in this case, they have pictures everywhere. This one doesn't, so it'll be straightforward. There are many different styles here. So whichever theme I like, say I like this one, I just hit activate. I'm going to come back to my blog and I hit refresh, or you can hit F5 to refresh, and you see the look has changed. Go back to my home, and this is the new look right now. And while I'm in the themes, I can customize it, and I can change the title, which is I showed you earlier. You can change the colors, the header colors, background colors if I wanted it to be a little different. Just click in the box, move it around, save and publish, and you'll find that the colors start to change. Background image, if you had a certain background in mind, or you can repeat in tiles, you can even select a file by going from here and add whatever background you want to add to it. Okay. You can close that. You can even go from appearance, you can go to header. You can upload your own header. You can choose the color in the header. You can go to background from here, and you can add whatever background you want to upload, and you can choose the position and whether you want it to be repeated or not, and things like that. And there's an option called custom design, but for that they want you to pay them $30, which gives you more controls. If you knew HTML or CSS type of things, that you can go in there and start making lots of changes. So this is really straightforward in that sense. If you need to spend too much money, you can just use this for now, and you just go back to themes, find something else that you like, scroll down, keep looking, whatever you like, you can choose that theme and it will get activated. Okay, like that, hit activate, come back to my blog, hit refresh, and it is changed. So really easy. The last thing I want to talk about is within appearance there is a thing called widgets. Now widgets are what affects all the things that show up on the side. So in this case, you see the widgets are on the left hand side. So I can come here and I can say, you know what widget I want to add. I want to add, I think there's a Twitter. Say I had a Twitter account. I can go here, scroll up. I'm just dragging it, drop it in here, put a title, Twitter, username. I'll just put mine, I think, if I remember. And how many tweets, and I just hit save. Let's see if it worked. I hit refresh here, and you see there are my Twitters. They started to show up. Pretty amazing. And I can close this, and you can add other things. So whatever else you wanted to add, you wanted to talk about yourself like an author, you can show your image and your by using this, or the about me thing. You can put your categories. I can just take my category and drop it here, put a title, so people can browse through it. Close it, hit refresh, and you see there are the categories, so people can go to those blogs by clicking on them. And they have a footer widget, which is footer is all the way to the bottom. This is the footer. Now some themes may have it, some themes may have like 3 options for Twitter's footer, some themes may have multiple sidebars, so it all depends on it. Like I'm just going to go back to pages and I'll click on the services too. So first of all I want to change this parent to services, and there is a default template and I can change it, and I can, in this case there is no full width option, so this theme is not giving you that option, so you can go back and change it. So that's it. I think this is pretty much everything you need to know about creating websites. Now you see my menu is messed up again, so I just go back here, appearance, menus, and I'm going to tell it again use default. For some reason it doesn't remember it. Come back, F5 to refresh, or hit the refresh button, and there's my menu, blog, and they all have the sidebars. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you like